word, but I'm gonna try. So, my thoughts are not really organized for this, and I'm not even prepared. I'm just still getting used to trying to live stream, and I don't even know. You know what? I'm gonna just go. So, and as I'm talking, I'm probably going to sound slow because I'm trying to like get everything out of my head and like make it make sense. Okay. Trying to make it make sense. So, and sometimes I talk too deep. So, I don't know. You might, whoever watches this might not understand what the heck I'm saying, but it's cool. So, I wanted to talk about using feminine energy in business because I feel like a lot of us who are entrepreneurs, as far as women, we tend to go on the more masculine side. And this is where I don't know how to start this conversation, but like I said, I'm going to try to make it make sense. So I remember when I used to hear this song, I think James Brown sings it, and it's called It's a Man's World. I used to roll my eyes at that song all the time because I'm like, what you mean it's a man's world? And, you know, women live in it too, blah, 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 blah. But now, I don't know if James Brown meant this, but what I got is society is built up for masculine success. So, like back in the day, men had to hunt, they had to be the ones, the warriors, and the women would usually stay back and, you know, be the nurturers, the carers, blah, 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 blah. But it's not like that now. Nowadays, we all have to get out there and grind and hunt and make our own money. And masculinity is all about closing sales. It's a force. It's giving. Um, and yeah, like if you ever watched the movie like The Wolf of Wall Street, like those type of guys closing sales and just constantly like on the go, that's masculinity. But feminine, we're not femininity is not about closing sales. And we're more like we're more creative, more, I would describe it as masculinity is more like closing sales and femininity is more of marketing. And I think that's where women are having issues because we're trying to go against our own nature, and sometimes it doesn't work. Now, it's not every woman because there's some out there who are, they lean more on the masculine side, and it's all about energy. So they lean more on the masculine side and they get things done better that way, which is fine. But for the rest of the women out there who are trying to be entrepreneurs, it's like trying to be this Wolf of Wall Street type of dude, and it's not coming across right. Women are more receiving, we're more magnetic. So things are supposed to come to us naturally. Now, to mold that into entrepreneurship is like, how can you get things to come natural to you without closing sales? If that makes sense. Like, how can you naturally get people to buy whatever service you're giving or buy whatever product you're selling without trying to close sales? It doesn't make sense. But this is why I feel like women, when they're more tapped into their element, they're more good at marketing because women know how to market. For instance, like it's kind of like on YouTube, right? You have these thumbnails, and depending on how good it looks, you either click on it or not. But well, no buts. That's basically it. It's either you click on it or not. And women, we're really good at making ourselves look good. That's why women are more into like makeup and trying to look their best. We're just naturally good at that. And men are just more the chasers. And I would say by nature, they're more good at closing sales. And I've seen this a lot in my experience of entrepreneurships. Like friends of mine's, guy friends, when they would get into something, if they keep going at it and if they keep learning and growing, they do end up becoming successful. And me, I be trying to do what they do, and it's like I'm working against the grain. It's not working for me. But when I'm just being myself and not trying to like chase or close anything, people tend to like help out, and they just buy stuff from me. And I don't even be trying. I don't even be trying to sell during those times of days. I just be myself. And I remember some people back in the day, like my mentor and my cousins who are into entrepreneurship, they would tell me to just be yourself. And particularly, I'm gonna talk about my mentor real quick because he makes a lot of money. And I used to take notes for him every time. I used to try to do what he does. And he would tell me, don't do what I do. And he would tell me about like what his wife does because his wife is successful also. And he would want me to like, emulate what she does. But for some reason, it wasn't clicking. I was like, I'd rather do like emulate what you're doing because you're more successful and blah 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 blah. And I don't know, I just wasn't vibing with how his wife worked, because first of all, she was really pretty, and every time she stepped into the room, like it was just like all eyes on her, and I felt like of course she's gonna make it, like look at her. But he was just like, no, like when you tap into that femininity or whatever, you'll understand. And it took me a while, but I get it now, because when I'm not even trying, when I do like basically what she was doing, it's like people tend to want to help. People usually buy, especially when I tap into like my creativeness, when I'm getting all creative with my whatever I'm doing. Like before 2020, I was making skincare products and I was selling them, but I wasn't like trying to close sales or getting people to buy. I would just post about it, talk about it. I would make visuals. I would be super creative, and people liked what they saw. So people started buying. And then 2020 happened, and I was just like, I don't know what's going to happen. So let me put this to the side. But I wasn't trying to be masculine about it. I was really tapping into my femininity. I don't even know if all this makes sense, but my thoughts are not super organized, especially going live. Like this is different. But I hope I make sense. Whoever is watching this or whoever is going to watch this, I hope I make sense, especially to a woman, because I feel like, and this is the problem, and this is what I hear guys say, that women are trying to play the male role and whatever with their complaints. And it's like, I understand, but it's kind of like women don't, not that we don't have a choice, but when this is a masculine society setup, you're gonna tend to act masculine. We're not in our nurturing, take care of the family, the children, space. We can't make money off of that. And women nowadays, we want our own too. So the only way we could do that is what we see on TV or whatever. We see guys like in Wall Street and the builders and the whatnot. So we're gonna want to do the same because that equals success. But no one really taught us how to get success and still be in our femininity about it. So that's what I'm trying to get across. And it takes a while to grasp because at first I really couldn't understand that. But now I get it. And the thing is, how can I explain it even more better? When it comes to men and a woman, me, I'm gonna use business for this, but people like to use, like in relationships, the table, this imaginary table. So what do you bring to the table? Those type of conversations. And when it comes to business, for me, so when it comes to this table, right? It's like, for men, they have to show what they can do in order for people to buy from them. Or in relationship, they got to show what they can bring in order for the woman to be like, okay, I feel like you're a provider and whatever else that she's going for. So it's like he has to show what he can do, and it's like he has to show what he can hunt, show what he can make, be in the kitchen, showing the ingredients, mixing everything well, like setting the table up here, like this is it. Like you see what he can do, and you could tell that this guy is a hunter, he could cook, whatever, great. But for women, and this is where guys get upset too, because guys say that women feel like just them being at the table is good enough. And I get the frustration and I understand both sides, because there are women out there who feel like if I show up, that's just good enough. Like this is it. But that's not necessarily the case. However, it's like this. So on the women's side of the spectrum, they don't, when it comes to business, I feel like women don't got to show what they can do firsthand, first glance. They don't gotta do nothing. As long as they look the part, that gets people into the door. So they don't need to cook, they don't need to whatever, just the food is already there. You don't gotta see none of that. But the downfall of that is, okay, the food is already at the table. Now, question is the food even good? And that's where women can mess up at. It's like, yes, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I'm selling, this is how I look, whatever. But if they try the product or try the service and don't like it, they're not going to come back. And in relationships, if a guy sees a woman and he likes her, she looks good, whatever, comes to the table, but she got no personality or, no personality, he's not going to come back to the table. So for a man, it's like, no woman's going to come to your table unless you could show what you can do. Unless you could show that you can close sales or whatever, no one's going to come to the table. But on the women's spectrum, it's more magnetic. Like if you look the part, or if you have not even just looks, because it's not all about looks, but if you just have like this vibe, energy, people or guy, whatever, just naturally comes to the table. Like, ooh, what's going on over here? And depending whether you can keep people around or keep a man around, whatever. Yeah, depending on that, it just shows whether you'll be successful in your business or entrepreneurship or relationship or whatever. So that's how I see it. So for women, it's like use your femininity in business, but once you get people through the door, you have to be able to keep them there. So you can't just be, all just the look. You gotta have some type of source behind it. If that makes sense. I hope that made sense because it made sense to me. But I think I said everything. The only thing is though, when you're using your femininity in business, entrepreneurship, or whatever, you have to know who you are as a person. So with femininity, it is more inner, right? Men are more outer, the chaser, women's more like inner. So you have to know who you are in order to move your business accordingly. And nowadays, well, it's always been like this, but a lot of women want to they want to show the world that they're this siren, this sex appeal. So in business or whatever, that's what they try to portray. Hence, that's why a lot of women get plastic surgery if they don't look the siren part, or they do whatever they can to look this image. And I feel like you don't have to be like that all the time. Sometimes people can gravitate towards you because it's not just you look good, but maybe you're funny, or maybe you're goofy, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you're very gentle and caring. Like this lady at my job that I was talking to the other day, she was telling me how people prefer to talk to her than the managers because she knows just as much as the managers. But on top of that, she's very caring and she's very sweet and you're comfortable talking to her. So that's what people gravitate to her because of that, not necessarily her looks. So if you can use those attributes, whatever it is about you, you'll be able to go far. I mean, you still can be this siren, this sex appeal, but I'm not saying you're working against the grain with your energy and your element and your gifts, but it might take a little bit longer. And maybe when you get there, you will blow up and be very successful. But I just feel like it would just be, I don't know, I feel like it would be smart to figure out who you are and what it is about you that people gravitate to you for and just build on that. And I don't know, I feel like I'm being a hypocrite in a little way because I'm definitely not saying not be a siren and don't. I, I feel like every woman has the right to be a siren just by nature. Women want to be this goddess like type. And I mean, on my Instagram, I post, I post some stuff because I do poll and whatnot. So I be doing my thing on Instagram. So I'm not trying to like steer women away from that. You can definitely be this like sexy being that you desire in your head. But at the same time, if you're more goofy than a seductress, you could be Matter of fact, you can mold that into like who you are. Like if you're just naturally goofy and clumsy, you know, in a way it could be seductive if you like build on it and work on what you are and what you have. I think that makes sense. I don't know. It's just that I see a lot of women just trying to be that, and there's a balance to everything. Not everybody's meant to be the same. So if everybody's trying to be this one thing, I don't know. It's just it'll be boring. The world will be boring, at least to me. But yeah, I think I was able to get what the heck is going on out there. I don't know if you'll probably hear sirens going off, but no, that's just distracting. Okay. Wait, is it getting closer? I don't know. Anyway, I hope I made some type of sense. Um, I don't think I wanted this live stream to be. I definitely don't want it to be like I know all the answers because I don't. Um, but it is just thoughts that are just spewing out of my head. And yeah. Now, okay, before I get off this, masculine, feminine. It's just energy. Men could be feminine. Woman could be masculine. Um, I just had to throw that out there because I know today's society with this whole gender-ish going on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in the Gen Z generation. So I don't know. So whoever comes across this video and it's just like, what do you mean women could be masculine and we could do anything a man could do? Yeah, 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 sure. But I'm just giving my own thoughts. Anyway, let me get off this. And yeah, let me see if I can remember if I know how to get off this because I forgot. Bro, I'm still slow.